Hello everyone and welcome back to Witch Watch. This is episode 7. Last episode we had a cute little episode where they were in like a park and they were doing hiking or whatever it was, and there was a tree that was the lover's tree, and everyone was trying to get under the lover's tree and you know, be with their partner. But it turns out there was a different tree that was actually the lover's tree, and that's the one that Nico and Morihito just ended up going under accidentally. So I think it was a very sweet episode. It's very nice. I can't wait to jump into more. I've really loved this show so far. It's been surprisingly like one of my favorite shows that I'm watching right now. And yeah, I love the designs of everything. I also recently, the Yoasobi Watch Me music video came out, the OP song for this show. They brought out their music video and I did a reaction to it, so you can go check out that reaction video. But it's a great music video. It's so good. So yeah, let's jump into this. This is Witch Watch episode 7. Make sure to support the video, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. Let's jump into this Witch Watch episode 7. Oh. Oh. I like that she's nervous on camera. Aww. This is so pure. Oh, that's so adorable. That's such a cute intro. So, they're YouTubers now. Great. Oh my god, this is gonna relate to me a lot. Yep. That's true. You can't think of it like that, especially early on. I mean, they were getting some views from that video that we saw. Is that 26 subscribers? I mean, they're learning. It's early days. Oh, they're filming about I did this when I was a kid. When I was a kid, this is what my videos looked like. Oh, well, this is cute. That's so funny. So it's a parent's account, right? It's probably them. Oh, right. Yeah, you gotta drill into one thing. I mean, you could. Yes, this guy. Yeah, Keigo. Yeah, they talked a bit on the trip. What's he, a VTuber? Oh. Movie reviews? That's kind of what I do. Hey, he's a hipster. Khan doesn't like him. Yeah, but you may have picked things up. Is that 83 subscribers? That's alright.
What's up, guys? Keigo です。アクタレ僧侶シリーズの茂木マンゴスチン監督待望の新作ってことでね。何の誰やねん。
He's got some editing in his videos at least.
他にもドンカバシマとかスカルスキーとかね。でもあんま有名じゃないからな。さあなんかそういう誰も見ないような作品にすげえ。
Yeah, he's such a hipster.
それが自分らしいと思ってんだけど。透明の虹。ちなみにあってすげえマイナーだから誰も知らないと思うんだけど、俺はすげえ人生に影響を受けてて、昔俺がクラスで浮いてた時さ、つうか俺今でも浮いてんだけど。
He's a yapper.
思えた作品なんだよね。で、ちなみに俺目に物見せてくれたのか。俺は自分の話止まれ。
I mean, this is sometimes my discussions.
おもんなさそうやわ。自己承認欲求の塊だな。ほっといてくれよ。マガミ君の動画は内容はどうであれ。
Yes, that is true. So if you fuse your stuff together, if it's like his editing but those two is the personality? I mean, most of those thumbnails kind of suck. Unless they're thumbnails for like music, like background music. It's probably a woman in the thumbnail. Ah. It happens. Okay. Do you have a capture card?
でも俺 B 級しか多分意味これクソゲーだから多分俺しか楽しめないと思う。プレイヤーは2個。グリーンバックは俺が手配した。
Good.
これ出しとんねんこいつ。
That's a good green screen.
わしはどうしたらええ？お前は映るな。森人の全面指示で撮影された。
Oh, okay, so she's using the laptop, so she can just film on the laptop.
そして配信された。
It has a decent chance of doing good if Nico's on the thumbnail. Aww. Oh, that's such a cute intro. And it's well edited. And he's just the voice. Yeah, this has a decent chance of doing well. Oh my god, these fucking grasshoppers. It really is a bad game. This is really entertaining. I'd watch this channel. Oh my god. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh my god, exhausted. Yeah, he's got funny straight man stuff, and yeah, Nico being adorable. Whoa! Are they done with it? Yep, they're bored with it. It happens. Happens so often. I'm gonna be talking a decent amount about all this in discussion. Who's this woman? Thank you for telling me, Suzuka. Awesome. You got a little girl crush on her? No, he likes you. Is that shitty handwriting? Aww.
このお弁当も自分で作ったんですけど。
It looks fine.
そうだよ、鶏の唐揚げ、エビフライを作ってた。
どういう不器用さだ。
お願いニコちゃん、私を魔法で器用にしてください。
Aww.
たくさんあげるから。
I can give you lots of money.
それにニコの魔法は大抵効果時間があるから、合格しなければ芸事の時間を増やすと、これ以上青春の時間を習い事に奪われ
Makes
たくありま
sense.
せん。習い事ばかりは大変なのよ。
Yeah.
茶道か。
萌ちゃん、手出して。清宮ちゃんも。
Can you like swap bodies? Because maybe Moy can do it. Sin clone.
萌ちゃんだけ手動かして。
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. He controls her body.
低スペースで萌ちゃんがコントロールする作戦でいこう。
俺これから茶道マスター。
He's still doing it. Stop moving her.
つ森茶道部の協力を得て結構マスターした。
Makes
いつも
sense.
頭が下がるの
He's
よ。
good at picking things up.
替え玉受験のために必死やな。っていうかお前なんでおんねん。
今回も真上くんの協力は必須なんだ。
He's a new part of the
テス
cast.
トは用意できた。小型カメラが内蔵されたメガネ。
Makes
スマホ
sense.
に映像を飛ばせば、茶室とは別の場所からも景色を共有できる。
That's high quality video.
この部屋を借りたから。
And like no latency.
早くリハーサルしようよ。それが大変なの。
Uh-oh.
オーバーさせちゃって試験を今からやるって。
Alright.
萌ちゃん返事して。
口もシンクロしてんの？
口もシンクロして。
はいおばあさま言うとけ。
はい、おばあ様。ダメだ。リハーサルなしは。
Yeah.
特に礼儀作法は重要な潤滑油になる。
He's just so
お
obnoxious.
ばあ様。
私の話はつまらない。
Yes.
はいおばあ様。
Open the
戸
door.
を開ける動作は3段階。少し開け。下から8寸のところから半分まで開け。
What the fuck?
最後を少し残して開ける。
Oh my
手
god.
をかけ。手をかけ。
I mean, without being able to feel it, that might be what's
どう
difficult.
したんだい？入ってこ
Like if you can't feel the
ち
little
ょっとそれ怖い
divot.
けど。
手で開けてしまった。体を浮かせて前に進める。
Okay. Let's see if he just hits her head on the thing.
森人が自分の体重を浮かせる筋力は
Oh, that makes sense.
深いところがうまくいかない魔法だ。
That's really funny. That's a really funny detail that the writer came up with.
出されたのは落眼だ。
カントリーマームで対応すんで。
Okay. Oh my god.
めちゃめちゃむせとるぞ。
水分の少ない東を。
Oh, so she started choking.
からしょうがねえだろうが。
ご機会。
お手前。
噛んで飲む。
Is he just pouring it on her chin? What's...
大変美味しい。
just the big...
拝見してる場合じゃないよ。ずっと筋肉マンみたいになってるから。あんたはもう一度学び直しだ。
Oh my god! Is that a bee? Oh no. Oh, I hate it! This is the first thing I've agreed with this woman on. Although, maybe let her die.
基本道術。
Oh my god, using fighting style
ホタルカゴ。
with her body is awesome. That's dope.
この世で最も美しい所作を見たと思う。
あの完成された所作からまだ見込みはありと判断されまして、
Good.
今回のは悪魔の手まり歌だと評されるおことの試験があるんですけど、おとぎくん、おことマスターしてもらえますか？
Oh my god. Yeah, so much work. That was a great episode. There was some parts of that episode that I was laughing at so much. I loved that episode. I'm gonna talk about the second story in this episode before I talk about the first story because I think I'm gonna have more to say about the first story because it relates to YouTubers and stuff like that. So I'm gonna save that until the end so that I can kind of just talk about it for as long as I want. But the second story, I like Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya seems cute and fun. And that was a funny story, and it's got like some fun details to it that I think like it feels like the gags that the writer goes for aren't the gags that I kind of like anticipate. Like, you know, there was the start gag of like him going like, oh, our mouths are synced too, right? Like there was that start gag where it's like he didn't kind of realize that that's what was going on. But after he realized that, he didn't like continuously make that same mistake. So it wasn't the same gag over and over again. It was like the mistakes that he was making is stuff that like, it's really hard to blame Morihita for those mistakes. Like stuff like the really funny detail of him like moving his body along the ground. But since he's so strong and he's got such a big body, he has to put so much more effort into putting weight on his fists. So when she puts that same amount of effort in, it just like lifts her whole body. It's really, really funny. But it's also like just a fun, interesting detail to take into account while like thinking of the scene. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot of stuff in there that where the writer really thought about like, how would this spell work? And then how can I make funny things happen because of how the spell works? And it just gives me so much hope for this series because like it has consistently used magic in these sorts of creative ways where it's still doing like gags that I would kind of expect, but it's not doing it in the ways that I would expect it to do it. And it's like doing things that I wouldn't think about. So yeah, I really enjoy that, you know? And yeah, and oh man, the bee coming in, like, yeah, if someone saved me for a bee, I'm passing whatever test they're giving me. I was in my car the other day, and by the other day, I mean like a week and a half ago or something. I was in my car, and I was gonna go to the McDonald's drive-thru to get myself some food. And so I was driving, and then I stopped at a stoplight, and then I looked over outside my car window, and on the side mirror, a bee landed there, like a huge bee. Maybe it wasn't huge, but it seemed huge to me. It was very close to me, so it seemed huge. It was just sitting on my rearview mirror, on my side view mirror, and I looked at it and I went, oh fuck! Like it's outside, but there's a bee, and I hate bees, and it was like distracting me, and I was worried. But then I tried to ignore it when the light went green. I was just ignoring the bee. As I drove into the McDonald's, and then I looked over and I saw the bee was still there, and I went, shit. If I go into the drive-thru, I have to roll down my window to talk to the drive-thru people. If the bee goes into my car, I might die. I think I will be terrified. I'll crash my car. Even if I'm going like 5 kilometers an hour, I'm gonna crash my car and die. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. So instead, I turned into the car park and I parked my car, and then I've got a little button that can like fold my mirrors in. And so all I did was I continuously folded my mirror in and out and in and out and in and out until the bee got too annoyed and flew away. And then I took a deep breath and continued with my day. But like, yeah, there was a good like 3 to 4 minutes where I was having to deal with my own bee problem with technology. If my car didn't have that mirror fold feature in it, then I might have just sat in my car for forever. I might have just sat in my car until the bee flew away, which could have been an hour, you know? Like, I might have just done that. Or I would have driven home, because when you're driving, the bee just sits on the car. Like, I thought, like, maybe when I drive and I turn and stuff, the bee's gonna fly away. But it didn't. It just sat on my car. But I might have driven home and then climbed over to the passenger seat and got out the passenger side so that I could stay as far away from the bee as possible and just run into my house and stay and went there, you know, like, and I would have not had food to eat and that would have been fine. I would have rather starved than risk being near that bee. So, yeah, so I understand. A bee comes into that room, I'm freaking out as well. But yeah, that was a great little storyline. But the YouTuber storyline, oh my god. I mean, first of all, what a cute intro to the episode is like them doing that first video. And like you can see Nico's really nervous. It's so cute, like the way she's like blushing and like really nervous about it, but is also like fully on board with it. Like she's not nervous like I don't want to do this. She's just like she didn't realize that nerves would hit her until the camera turns on. So adorable. I love that a lot. And I mean, I'm someone who's very comfortable being on camera. So like I haven't felt those sorts of nerves from being on camera or on stage in quite a long time, like since I was a kid. But you know, those like sort of butterflies that you get, and like the fact that like you not being able to act naturally on camera is something that I understand and I think is very cute. But yeah, I think it was really great because it also like it felt like the writer knew kind of how YouTube properly works, you know. Like that was I mean they're mostly talking about like Japanese YouTube here, which is like kind of a different game than like English speaking YouTube. Japanese YouTube especially, they love edits. Like this is from my experience of watching it. They love edits. They love the words popping up on screen. They love like extra jokes popping up in like titles around the screen. They love it to be more traditional comedy style rather than like you know, they like to punctuate their jokes with things. So whether that be punctuate them with some sort of editing flair or like a sound cue or like a zoom in, like, but they love to punctuate their jokes. And they like the videos to be like kind of highly edited, and you know, have like a big intro and have a catchphrase to them, you know, like the YouTube channel has like a sort of gimmick to it. Like all of that stuff tends to be what a lot of like popular Japanese YouTube stuff will be. Especially when you kind of lean into the more entertainment business idol side of things. They do that quite a lot. Whereas like, I feel like a lot of the time on Western YouTube channels, the idea of like still producing it highly, but not making it look overproduced is a very popular thing. Now, that's not the only thing that's popular. Of course, there's stuff like Mr. Beast, which is one of the most popular things out there, and his videos are insanely produced, you know, but the appeal of those shows is they're supposed to be like TV shows. That's what those videos are supposed to emulate. They're not really trying currently to emulate YouTube videos, but I mean, Mr. Beast, I mean, I've never really watched a crazy amount of Mr. Beast, but I've seen some stuff. I remember his old stuff, like way back when he was getting popular, wasn't highly produced. He was like doing gimmicks. Like I remember there was one where he's like just counting or something. He did like a live stream where he's just counting. It wasn't produced at all. It was just like he was just sitting there and just counting for hours and hours and hours, right? And it's like the appeal of something like that was the gimmick and the fact that it's not produced. It's just a live stream. He's just sitting in this room doing whatever. But a lot of YouTube channels, I feel like in English speaking places, or at least the ones that I know of, tend to be like, you want to kind of feel like you're watching friends hang out, do fun stuff like that, you know? You want to see them making natural jokes in the moment. Things like that tend to work a lot better and tend to be quite popular. So yeah, like I feel like they like, you know, I also feel like Japan in general with their parasocial, like they're both Western countries and Japan, from what I know of it, are both very parasocial, but the parasociality it manifests in different ways, where in Japan, the parasociality is like they want to imagine this person is how they are in their videos, and they want that person to be kind of like the perfect idealized version of that personality that they have in their head. Like idol culture, you know, you want the idol to be like pure and sweet and cute at all times, and they don't have a boyfriend, they're single just for you, you know, like you have this perfect idea of them in their heads. While I feel like Western culture, the parasociality is like, these people are normal people. They are like, this are normal people in their everyday lives. They're just like me, and they're so just like me that I could be their friend. That I like, that they think of me as part of their friendship, and I have a chance to get to know this person, and they like me just as much as I like them. You know, like that's where the parasocial gets there. So they're both kind of unhealthy, where Japan's unhealthiness is the idea of like having these expectations of a person and then being upset when they don't meet those expectations, and the West's parasociality is sort of defined by having the false narrative that you are their friend, that like you are connected to them already, and that they owe you something, you know. So they're both bad, but that also feeds into, you know, Japan having trying to do kind of more highly produced stuff, and the West kind of doing more casual stuff. But yeah, I feel like this is a great episode for me because I think about a lot of this stuff, and I have thought about it for many years. I've been making videos, not for this channel, but just in general, since I was maybe 10 years old or so. So probably almost 2 decades at this point. Like, I've been making videos for literally most of my life. And I remember my very first videos that I posted to YouTube was when I was a kid. Maybe I was 12 or something. So maybe it's like a decade and a half. I was a kid, I had a Nintendo DS, and I had a really shitty camcorder. And what I did was I put my camcorder down on a table, and I held my DS in front of the camcorder, and I just like unnaturally held my arm up like that and recorded myself playing, I believe it was Scribblenauts or something along those lines. I was playing Scribblenauts, was one of the first ones. I think I also played a Tron game at some point, and I played a bit of Pokemon. But I just recorded myself playing dumb little games on my DS. And then eventually I would like set up my camcorder looking up at a TV that we had, as I would play on my PS3. I would play Call of Duty on my PS3, and I would record myself playing that. And I would just talk behind the camera, and I would like try to make jokes or whatever. But I was a kid, I was dumb, I didn't know how to make jokes very well, but I was trying, you know. And I had a very high-pitched, squeaky voice, extremely high-pitched. And that was it. And I did that for a long, long time. And I just like, over time, slowly improved, slowly figured out how to do stuff. And then I've done so many YouTube channels. I've done some YouTube channels like completely as like a meme. There have been YouTube channels that are out there still on YouTube, because I try not to delete too much stuff. So a lot of this stuff is still out there somewhere. Because I think, you know, I don't love deleting stuff. If I have to I delete stuff if I have to, or I private it if I have to. But for the most part, I think it's fine for this stuff to be out there somewhere. In case I ever want to find it, especially. But I try not to delete stuff if I can. And I've done, there are some channels out there that I made completely as a joke, and I did some joke videos, like some gimmicks, and just to see where it went, to varying successes. And there's some YouTube channels that I did that I took very seriously, and I did quite a lot of. So, for example, I mean, up there you can see my silver play button. That's not from this channel, obviously. This channel does not have 100,000 subscribers, but I did have a YouTube channel that had 100,000 subscribers. And And some people who've watched this channel have seen that channel and know about it. But not many. There's not much crossover between those audiences because that was more of a family-friendly channel. This isn't a family-friendly channel. This channel is more like naturally the stuff that I do. But this channel that I started this kind of as a passion project because I really wanted to talk about things that I was passionate about and like really dive into TV shows and do all of that stuff. I made this channel because I loved watching reaction channels that were really good, and I thought I had something to provide to reaction channels. I thought there's like some sort of expertise that I had, and the types of shows that I watched, like there might be fewer people doing that stuff, you know? So like that's why I'm okay with doing dubs on this channel, even though sometimes people comment and they're like, well, you're losing most of your audience by doing a dub because no one gives a shit about this. But there are people that give a shit about it. I get a lot of other comments that are like, oh my god, finally someone watching dub. I've been looking for dub reactions. That's the thing. I'm doing it for those people. I'm not doing it for the sub elitists, you know? I'm doing it for the people who are looking for those videos and no one else is doing it, because anytime a YouTuber starts a video in dub, they get comments going like, oh my god, you made a mistake. You have to switch to sub. Please, before the next video, switch to sub. And they get hundreds and hundreds of comments saying it. And so they go like, okay, I guess the audience wants me to switch to sub. And then they do that, right? And then the people who were there for the dub are like, hang on, we had one person doing dub and you've convinced them to switch? It happens a lot. I've seen it happen quite a lot, especially to people who are watching anime, but they're not like proficient in it, you know? So they go with what they're comfortable with, which is watching in English. Then they're told that's the wrong thing to do, which it isn't. But they're told that by the audience and they go, oh no, I must have made a mistake. And then they watch it in sub. And genuinely, this is what I think when I watch those videos. A lot of the time, they are more confused in future videos and they're more lost and they're struggling more during those reactions because it's harder for them to focus on the subtitles. It's harder for them to be reading while watching it, and subs tend to do a slightly worse job at getting the meaning of certain things across, even though they're more accurate to the source material in terms of like just direct translations. Dubs take liberties because they need to localize them, because they want their audience to fully understand the emotions and the story of what's going on. And dubs, in my opinion, tend to be better at that, in like translating it so that you don't need any other research. You can just watch the dub and understand everything that's happening. So yeah, like it tends to be not a great choice for a lot of people. Not everyone. Sometimes people do switch to sub and they prefer it and they're like, this is great. And that's great when that happens. But sometimes it's not always the best choice. So all this to say, I've from the start sort of done this YouTube channel, like, not to say that I haven't done the things that audiences have wanted, but I try to do it in a way that I want to do it as well, you know? Like I find a nice middle ground between audience demand and what I think is good for the channel. And so when in these videos at the start, they're like, we heard you can make money off of YouTube videos or whatever. Yeah, you can. It's not easy and it is draining if you do it in a way that is purely for that. And it generally will be extremely hard and you have to have a lot of luck. And then if you do strike big, but you're doing it for something that you don't actually care about, you just care about making money with it, then it's going to destroy you. Like it's going to drain you so much faster because it'll feel like any other job, essentially. But if you can be lucky enough to be doing something you're passionate about and then make money off of it afterwards, like basically, if you would have done it anyway with no money, that's the best way to do it. So like, I would be making these videos with no money. In fact, I did for quite a while, and I still am not making that much money off of these videos. So like it's kind of the fact that I've been doing it for this long kind of proves that like this is something that I just kind of genuinely want to do. However, if they could get popular enough to get me more money and to be like a proper full-time job that's like paying me enough that it can be considered the same as having a full-time job, that would be amazing, and that would be incredible. But it's not the, you know, it's not the only reason I'm doing it. I'm also doing it because I love it very much. But yeah, I loved the jokes about it in the episode. I mean, the stuff where they're doing an unboxing video and he's like struggling to open it, and they're just sitting there quietly while he's like trying to get the sticky tape up. One of the funniest jokes in this show so far, I think. One of the funniest jokes I've seen in anime in a long time, I think. That was so funny. I loved that a lot. But yeah, and then Morihito jumping in and going like, "For the love of God, edit it!" Like, so good. So good. Yeah, I just think they kind of nailed it in this episode. And they showed a lot of good stuff. And I think it was really clever, like, showing Keigo and his videos, but he's doing it like, you know, he doesn't really, like, understand, you know, like, what's special about him and his videos. He doesn't know what his appeal is, generally. And so his videos can be kind of, I don't know the word for it, like self-important and dull and overlong. And now I say that, you know, you could put those criticisms on my videos as well. You could look at the discussion sections and say, like, what the fuck, get to the point. Why aren't you talking about the show? Why are you talking about your own YouTube channel for a long time, for example? But I'm going off of one, I feel like my videos get more entertaining the more passionate I am about the subject. So if I talk about wherever my bliss leads, I talk with more energy, the videos get more entertaining. Secondly, I've had people comment saying that they like when I talk about my experiences when I relate it to stuff because they find it interesting. So if you're one of those people, leave those comments. I always love reading those comments that big me up about my experiences. But when people, like, I've heard people say that before. And three, I put the discussions at the end of the video. Now, obviously, it's because I need to watch the episode first and then discuss. But another, you know, benefit of that is people can watch as much as they would like of the video, you know, and then they can stop watching when they're no longer having fun. And I kind of understand that. I would prefer, it'd be better for me if people watch the videos the entire way through. Because viewer retention is a very important thing, but it's not the only necessary thing that I need, and I understand people's time is valuable, so people aren't going to watch every single thing that I do, and that's fine. So yeah, I think this episode nailed it. I think it's really fun, and it's fun that they yeah, as I said, Keigo, they understood that what was special about his videos was, one, his weirdness. Like, the Grasshopper game is a very weird thing. And two, like, he actually kind of knows how to edit his videos. Like, they're more professionally done. And he kind of knows how thumbnails work and stuff. Like, even though I don't think his thumbnails were great, but there was actually one or two in there that I think were all right. But he kind of gets how thumbnails work. And thumbnails, honestly, are unfortunately, like, kind of the most important thing. Like, your videos could be amazing, your thumbnails, if your thumbnails aren't amazing, a lot of the time it struggles. Not all the time. You have people like ProZD, who, like, ProZD, I think, has said he's never made a thumbnail before. He purely just uploads his videos, and I think maybe chooses one of the 3 screenshots they give you for default thumbnails. He just chooses one. And so, like, you know, he is successful despite not doing thumbnails. But you know, for the majority of stuff, like, there's a direct correlation between how you do thumbnails and how many views you get. So yeah, I feel like the thumbnails that he was doing, they weren't bad. They were better than default thumbnails, but there's, like, they kind of, a lot of them were missing, like, the eye-catching feature that they're supposed to have. So, but other than that, it was cool how they, like, really took advantage of that stuff. And I mean, the thumbnails they ended up with for the Nico and Kan channel were great. They were great. They were really good thumbnails, especially for, as I said, Japanese YouTube, which is a kind of different beast. That is the types of thumbnails that they tend to like. So really good. I loved this episode. It was so great. Anyway, my voice is going, as you can hear. So that's Witch Watch episode 7. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I will see you next time. Goodbye.